Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Ah! I literally pulled my microphone off of the mic stand. Okay. Hello, everybody. It has been 5,000 years, but here I am. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It has been forever and a day, but with a full-time job, it is difficult for me to find the time and patience for me to record. I will admit that I did play throughout the vast majority of the first game in this adventure, but no spoilers, we're just going to go right into it, because in all honesty, I have been dying to stream this. We have an opening cinematic, which is very different.
After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some were swept away by the tide.
Ooh.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Ooh. The Adventure of the Great Departure. Bienvenue à la Carnival. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. Neither can I. Honestly, I've been really stalling on playing this game for the longest time because I've really been wanting to stream it, but unfortunately my internet is just too shit. So I got it for the Switch, and I played most of this first game on the Switch. I haven't finished it yet, but we're just gonna go into it. No spoilers or anything, but we're just gonna chill out and enjoy this, because I really just kind of want to chill out at the moment. So how can it be that just beyond the doors of this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Hello, bailiff. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. I'm not very good at voices, by the way, so I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to be reading. I'm sorry if it gets really confusing after a while, but I don't care. I'm just chilling. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I am a second-year student at the Imperial Yumei University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has a right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Just technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. I obviously know how to, behave in a court of law. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault that I was being yelled at by the bailiff just for looking at him weird. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone! Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. God, he's so handsome. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. God, he's so handsome. The way that his headband always drifts in the wind. His calm and cool composure. I've had a crush on him since we were children. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact, and way out of my league. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. Oh god, did I say all that out loud? The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. But qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. Oh, you said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. We were out on a date. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world! I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend! It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing about his temple. The temple of his forehead. Where his bandana billows in the wind. Yeah. Definitely. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too, with you. Then come with me! We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. Only the best for you, Kazuma. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. He thinks I'm his partner. That's sweet. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Bam. Asogi. May I have a word? You too. Yeah. Professor! I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Oh, this is awkward. This is awkward. Just so you know, I have played through these cases, but I don't remember exactly what the wording is, for the most part. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes! Yes, that's right! My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Basically an overall great guy. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, as I understand. Does he understand? Does he know of my feelings for Kazuma? As such, I feel you should know. Oh, is there a thing against students having feelings for other students that you don't know if they're reciprocated or not? Because that seems like a very weird rule. I don't have feelings for Kazuma. Please don't expel me for it. Yeah. No, what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. Yeah? Yeah? However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Oh, so this isn't about my feelings for God. Wait. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand! Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it! Does this mean that he has feelings for me, too? But I didn't do it, I swear it! I'm not a murderer, even though it looks like it, even though I was holding the gun in my hand, and there were witnesses who saw me holding the gun in my hand after a gunshot. But I didn't do it. Obviously. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. Proceedings? But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that will lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? Is the judge going to marry me and Kazuma? If it's not obvious, I do think that Kazuma and Ryunosuke would be a nice couple. I think that they're cute. But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, take Kazuma Asogi to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Oh. Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Okay, you don't have to be so abrasive about it. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over, and what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. How far is this going to zoom in before it just stops? Just getting rid of the bailiff's shoes. The shoes are cut off. Oh, okay. So that's where it stops. Interesting. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. It's so official looking. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Pain! The courtroom will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency! This is me trying to do a voice, by the way. It's not very good. I don't know if there's any different. I don't know if it sounds any different, but there we go. As is the defense. I'm also very sorry if I am peeking at all. It's very hard to tell. So. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. I'm just going to turn my own microphone volume down just to be on the safe side. I don't know if that's maybe too much. Again, I apologize if my voice has been really loud. It's been a while since I've recorded things. I don't know if the audio for the desktop is high or not either. So, normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask that for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who is going to defend me? That's the question that Professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I might embarrass myself in front of Kazuma. I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's yes. May I have permission to speak, Your Honor? What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? The judge is rightfully perplexed by this whole sentiment. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you up. You don't have to word it like that. Think of the children. No! It's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Megatoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Kazuma, you're willing to sacrifice your career and your future for the sake of your friend. Oh, I love this man. He's such a loyal friend. Even in turns outside of shipping, they're such a good pairing. They're such good friends. I love them so much. Ugh. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Huh. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous crime indeed. Look at how pompous I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, oh, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke? Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. There's nothing on the desk for the court record to be. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. Ryunosuke, what is E? If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. What is E, Ryunosuke? I don't know what E is. This makes no sense in universe. I just had to press E for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. I'm just going to pretend like there is a button on the desk, and if you press the button that looks like an E, then it opens up and the court record is underneath there, just for simplicity's sake. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E, so I need to look underneath the files to find the list of people under there. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Oh, I already know who the guy who died is. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now. Well, I mean, Kazuma was there.
Yes!
The victim. no! Then why is that pompous-looking boy with the billowing headband still there standing next to you? Oops. Doesn't do that justice. I love that. Not content with having killed Dr. Wilson, now you're claiming my murder as well. I haven't killed anyone. Then concentrate and actually read the court record before you answer. I must say, you are not instilling the court with much confidence here. Quickly, give him the correct answer before he turns his gavel on you. Find the victim in the people section of the court record and press R. Ew.
Yes!
The victim was none other than Takatsushi Alchi. There is Yotai. The spectacled top knot standing opposite. Who's that bespectacled top knot? Ugh, sorry, for some reason that just came out even though I know it's wrong. Perhaps you are unaware that I am a master of the ancient No-style sword art. A pathetic little child like you will be sliced to pieces before you even came close to taking my life. I wouldn't provoke that proud Edo spirit. He might draw his blade on you. I thought courtroom sparring was supposed to be done with words. Visiting professor of medicine at Yumei University from the British Empire. Medical school professor at the Imperial Yumei University. Well, he is a professor.
Yes!
The victim's name is... Stop. You're just saying a random name that you came across in the court record, aren't you? How did you guess? It's blatantly obvious from your wide-eyed look of bewilderment. I could have sworn... I could have sworn that he was a ghost. That Mr. Mikotoba was a ghost when I saw him. I could have sworn that I saw straight through him. But then again, I suppose it wouldn't make sense because Kazuma also saw him. So I guess that the only answer would have to be
Yes!
the victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university, and it only took you 4 guesses to get there. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yumei University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is a reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be well aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yumei University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court, therefore, wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. God, he's so handsome. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. Oh, I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. And so I did. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the courts the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? How? Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Time of death, November, shortly after p.m. A single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's a post-mortem report, I take it. Well, guess what? The post-mortem report has been updated! Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. Just so you know, this is the updated post-mortem report. Mr. Aoshi. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. You have a green shine in your... Oh, no, that was just the angle I was at. Never mind. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court report. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? What do you mean? Oh, Dr. Mikotoba, the man I thought was a ghost. Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah! Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Boo! Boo! I am a ghost. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Including the ghost part. That's why I thought that he was the victim in this crime. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. I don't know if I can do this on my own, and I don't want to embarrass you in front of an entire courtroom of government officials, and Well, my first piece of evidence is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. God, he's so hot. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnaval. La Carnaval. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. It really should, because that can be the sign of some kind of a serious underlying health condition. So, you might want to see Dr. Mikotoba for that. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some time ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections in the inspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. Bam! A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! Hold on! Let me clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. Objection! I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur! But... The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. God, Kazuma, you're so cool. If I may confirm 1 point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in the court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I have been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Gotta wait and see. You'll get your chance. You'll get your chance, Ryunosuke. You just gotta be patient. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never had gotten into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Right, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. Real legal advice? From my limited knowledge of the legal system? You don't just interject whenever you want. You gotta wait for your chance. You're going to get a chance to cross-examine the witnesses anyway. Just be patient. Your own time will come. Kazuma, you're a fucking idiot. You're handsome. And Ryunosuke obviously has a crush on you. But you're wrong, bucko. Yes. Say it. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Objection! Dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. I might not be a lawyer, but I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. You okay, dude? You need a glass of water? Someone get this man a glass of water, please. Someone get this man a glass of water. Someone take it to Professor Mikotoba. Someone get him doctoral assistance. So, the court has now heard a précis of the case. Did Mr. Hosonaga get seen by a doctor? Is he okay? Is Hosonaga-san okay? Yes, at the moment the gunshot... We're just going to not address the huge coughing fit that the man who has a tendency to bleed from his mouth just had. Are we really not addressing that? Are we really just saying that that's fine? Is he still here? Do I need to be worried? No? Okay, I guess we're just going to ignore that. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. I'm sorry, I'm still worried about Hosonaga-san. Is he okay? Is he gonna be okay? Does he have a... Judge, you have a glass of water. Did you give him some water? Is that cologne? Do you put cologne on before each trial? I don't know why you'd put cologne on before each trial, because you're way up here, and we're way down here. And by the way, is this even a real piece of armor? Because these things right here... I'm sorry, but they look textured, they look painted on. I mean, these things really stand out, but everything else just looks really flat. Like, look at that. There's no shadows, no curves. It's like the shadows themselves are painted on. I'm sure that if you turn the judge sideways, you will be able to still see the patterns directly in the leather of this thing. This is leather. A very shapely beard, though. Is Hosonaga-san okay? It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Phoenix Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. Oh, you're still here! I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. Can we get this man a doctor? Well, he seems okay now, but I don't see any water. Did we give him some water? Are you okay, Hosonaga-san? You gonna be cool? You good? Pat you on the back? Okay, you're a statue. You're good. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. God, he looks so freaked out. Look at the way his eyes are just darting. That is the look of someone who is extremely stressed out and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? What's that look, Kazuma? Kazuma, we're in court. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face. Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Professor Aoshi, please continue with proceedings. As you were warned, the young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. I wonder what his fan says. I don't know what that says. Ow. The prosecution called its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Sergeant... the Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Yasanosa, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, my fine employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, our humble premises in the 2nd District, Kuryo Kurikuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing! Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always posed to noon. And, not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant for the rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed a precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir.
This man's as impossible to understand as the other. I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. He glanced at me just for a moment. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
By the way, super quick. The pun of his name is Iyesanosa, as in, yes sir, no sir. And Curio Kurakuta is a curio curator. Just putting that out there.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Standing by, ready to report, sir! Mr. Iyesanosa! Yes, sir!
Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. You okay? Is your blood pressure doing good? Are you cold? Can we get this man a jacket? Does he need a little bit of food? Does he need like a little plate of gummy worms or something next to him? Get some sugar in you? Keep you from shaking too much? You okay? Keep on addressing your posture quite a bit. You good? Okay, I think he's fine.
I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Well, so you, Sergeant Noso, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy, sir!
Times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is. Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency,
There is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty.
it is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of the... May I have permission to speak, Your Honor? What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands the right to cross-examination.
Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
How did he know?
The prosecution objects! This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. It's so hot. Ah! Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. So how does the cross-examination work? Do one of us stand on one side, and then another one on the other side, and then just get them a whole cross-examination from the top down, or something? Is that how that works? Or... Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know how to use a weapon! Isn't it obvious? You had to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. Just a quiet little slap on the desk is what gets me. Oh, that's what the court documents are. But then what's E? E to examine. I guess. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Yes!
Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beef steak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Tension! Ah! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal vigorously cut on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. I know exactly what that means. If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This could be a good opportunity to learn about English cuisine. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Tension!
Cut like a delicious cut of veal toasted in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it. Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? He's so unimpressed his headband has stopped billowing. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise?
Negative!
Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. I got an achievement. Prime Presser. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. A koban, boy. A koban? You mean an old Edo coin? Edo? Edo. It's pronounced Edo or Edo? Hold up. How do you pronounce Edo period? Edo.
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 Edo. Oh yeah, because Yido. It used to be pronounced Yido, but we don't get into Japanese historical phonology just now. Edo. It's Edo. Alright, I apologize for that mispronunciation, but now I know better. He was looking for an Edo coin. The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said item secreted into my bosom pocket, in the hope of an affluent cognoscente. What is...
Cognoscenti.
Cognoscenti, a connoisseur, a discerning expert. Appraised of its indisputable value being present. So he was hoping to find somebody who was an expert in Hoei, in Edo coinship, to be able to purchase the coin, or appraise it. You were hoping to sell your koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant. Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet!
You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant insubordination!
No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon, so it was past noon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Wait. Gunshot to the chest. Oh, we can also check this out. This is entrance. This is the kitchen. This is This is where he was shot. Yeah. This is very informative. I really appreciate this, Hosonaga-san. This right here. We can present this. Let's present it. That's not from the back. That's from the front. Well, this is awkward. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this insubordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What could this print possibly tell us we didn't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic prints presented by the defense that there is a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant, a yes or no. Oh my gosh. The point towards the prosecution. Naruhodo learns that from Kazuma. And then Phoenix Wright inherits that trait. Now if that isn't love. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir! Yes! But no, that just can't be! And why not, cadet? Because I... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? That's the wah! That's the wah! What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iyesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
That's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Just throw his own words right back in his face. Oh yeah, Kazuma. I got another achievement. Inconsistencies here. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just from that one discrepancy. He's so fucking shocked. So this is what being an East attorney is all about. Roll credits. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet's there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up from the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the Hawaii Kaban, my prize coin! On each occasion when I visited that restaurant, it was my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop Razute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I offered my Hawaii treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes the briefest of moments, I was there no more. It simply vanished. Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but he heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hawaii treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hawaii Koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. You looking away there, buddy? It's mighty suspicious. It's mighty suspicious. That's sus, Sussy Baka. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Alchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant might have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. What?
My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? What did you do? Ugh, I don't know. Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as curical glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Hey, baby. You're so cute. Tell me cheese.
Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up to the ranks, sir. Name, Aido. Aido Nosa. I don't know, sir. That's a pun on the baby's name. I don't know, sir. It's so cute. I've seen those straps are assigned the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Aido, attention!
Your father is about to quill the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
You're so cute. You're so cute.
I got a little bit of snot down your nose. You might want to wipe that off. I love babies in the testimony now.
Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the forward man he was, that young lad in black. How much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
I feel like I'm losing the voices that I'm trying to get them. My throat feels a little bit raw.
Wait, that's nonsense.
The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Ryunosuke, you will get your turn. We get to cross-examine, my friend. Chill out. Sit back. Relax. Have a drink of water. Just like I am. Or tea. To know that Japanese like to have their tea. Which is something that they really honestly share pretty much, very much with English folk. So.
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies.
Ugh.
It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photograph print of the scene of the crime council?
Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Let me readjust my seat. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. I think I would prefer if the volume were a bit lower than my voice, so hopefully that's not too low and you can still hear it. So, but that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain, just like the ink is still fresh on my fancy little fan that I am just waving about without a care in the world. To think that I, Takatsushi Ouchi, will have contributed to the enmity of these two great empires is an honor.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet.
What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination.
I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh.
A true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Okay, let me take a look at this court evidence super quick. The knife right here, that's dirty. It has funky cuts taken from it. There's an unopened bottle here, which is very weird, as you can see. There's this glass that has stuff in it, even though the bottle isn't open. This fork doesn't seem to have any stuff on it. The seat's facing away, which is just weird. Why would it be facing away? Which would imply that... This is what my thought process was when I was first playing through this. Because A, it seems really weird that in this picture the glass is obviously empty. We can't see if the steak has anything taken out of it. And also, for some reason, this chair is facing opposite of the table that is alleged to be this table, so that's just weird. Also, there's this tablecloth right here, so that's notable. And then there's this as well, but ugh. Also, kind of, what I just noticed too is that based on the diagram, the victim would be sitting here, the tables would be over here. There's no wall right there. There's tables right here. I think that might just be an inconsistency with the game or something. Because there are obviously tables right here, unless Mr. Wilson's head is covering the tables, I guess. But there's no wall over here. So he couldn't have been on this side right here. So my perspective is that if there was somebody else who was sitting by Dr. Wilson, they might have had another gun, shot him, hid underneath the table. Kirakutak wouldn't have been able to see her, even if he wasn't looking for stuff, because he was under the table where the tablecloth is, and wouldn't have been able to see it. That's what my thought process is. Pointing his gun at the floor, man, he was that young man in black. That much I myself did see. I'm just like, why? Why would you see that? If you were underneath the table. But I told you already, it's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol